So here we have a 2019 Cadillac CT6. Now this one comes in the Premium Luxury trim level in crystal white tri-coat. And then we do get the jet black leather interior. Now this one is an all-wheel drive model, and we do get that 3.6 liter naturally aspirated V6 made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And this one has a little over 42,000 miles on it. So my favorite model year actually, because we got this refreshed fascia here, LED headlamps, and then the LED signature lights. And just a nice classic look, I think. Just looks beautiful. And down here we have 20-inch alloy wheels. Passive keyless entry on all four doors. And then we have a 16-way power seat. The lumbar support can be controlled 4 ways, and then the power seat, bottom seat back can be controlled there. Memory seat functions, power windows, power mirrors, and then we also have power door lock controls here. And then we have blind spot monitors in those mirrors too. Now we get a 10-speaker Bose sound system. It's not the 34-speaker pan array that was available, but it still sounds very good. Electronic parking brake, heads-up display. We have a 4-way, well, just a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And then hit this twice, and that's how you get that hood up. But there's the driver's seat itself. So one of the reasons this is probably my favorite Cadillac today is because these were just so classic when they came out. They looked so good. It was just Cadillac's flagship. But on top of that, just the space you have in here is incredible. We also have the rear blinds here, which I love having that, especially if you have a kid. Nice to have that there. Keep the sunlight out. But even if you're like on your computer or something, being chauffeured around, it's nice to have that flexibility as well. But the seat in front of me is set to someone being 6'3" with longer legs, and then sitting behind myself, tons of space. Seat back pockets are on both sides. It's a little dark back here. I'm gonna roll the window down. And it's just so much you could do here. And I got confused because pretty much the only thing that's not power is this rear sunshade, but you can control this roof shade here, and then that back window shade, we can control that. Just so fancy. But rear AC vents are here. I feel like this is supposed to do something, but I guess not. And then deep pocket in there. And then this middle seat folds down. And even the cup holders are fancy. There's a little tray back here. And then I run through back there. And then our top tethers for the car seats are back here. And then the anchors, they're way back in there. But the heated outboard seats can be controlled from the door. You can either do the seat back or the seat back and seat bottom there. It's pretty neat. And then we can hang a shirt back here, a collared shirt, if we want to. But just such a nice car. Signature tail lamps as well, the dual exhaust. We do get a power lift gate back here as well. Spares underneath there if you're curious. Then we have a netted side pocket here, but tons and tons of space. And you can tell this is one of my favorite cars because I can't stop talking about it. It just, like I said, when these came out, I just fell in love with them. I really did. Front passenger seat here. I love that trim there. Huge shout out to Cadillac of Murfreesboro, by the way, for letting me review this car. And then owner's manuals are here. So is the window sticker. Y'all can pause anywhere you need to if you want to take a closer look. Even if you're just curious at what was going on in 2019, because I think that price is pretty cheap compared to what you'd probably get something nowadays. Something like this is running you 80, 90,000. But I remember when these came out, brand new, the Platinums were almost 90,000 or something like that. But I mean, you had everything in those. And then you had that twin turbo V6 powertrain, which is just nuts, but had a lot of problems. And there's that V6 tucked away, hidden in there. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. There's the horn there. And then we do get this 10-inch screen here, so that gives you AM, FM, XM radio, Bluetooth audio. Then we have wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto compatibility, built-in navigation system here. I'm just gonna run through everything. You can change your languages, connect your phones, pretty easy to do, just add phone there. But just such a fantastic vehicle. You have the rear seat reminder in here in 2019. Auto fan speed could be controlled. Just so much that you could do here, even teen driver. Just so fancy. But we get dual zone automatic climate controls. We can either control from the screen here, and as you can see, you can control either side, even the fan direction along with the temperature, and then that auto mode too. And then this even had the video recorder in there with the SD card. Alexa, Spotify was available. Just so much here. Backup cameras there, front cameras there. You have the curbside views, of course. And then you kind of have that walk around view there. There's so much going on. Now, one thing that I'm glad they fixed here was, especially around this time period, but a little before, Cadillac had these volume, I don't even know what to call them, like sliding things, I don't know. But that used to get on my nerves because you could accidentally hit this and then it would just turn it all the way up. And then you'd have to like pull it to get it down. But they put a mute button here, and then they also put a volume knob here. So for whatever reason that became an issue, you could just click that to mute or toggle that volume up or down there. So smart move to fix that. Parking sensors, you do have automatic park assist there. Not the best, but does the job, especially when there are two vehicles in the way. And then auto stop toggle there, glove box, hazards. Now your drive modes can be controlled here. You just have sport, tour, snow and ice, and then automatic brake hold, traction control, 3-stage heated cool front seats with this comfort package that's on this one in particular. Bottle holders are here. Then we can use this dial, which was actually pretty good for 2019. I feel like the other German manufacturers kind of caught up in not making this super difficult to do, having the big knobs here, but I like that you can also just use a touchscreen. And then the center console cubby space here, wireless charging pad there for your phone. Rear camera mirror is part of that comfort package. And then up here, we have the vehicle sensor, inclinator, whatever that thing does. Home remote is here. And then we have the shades for the front and rear of the sunroof, and then that rear shade for the back window. And then we can slide or tilt the front roof here. And even just how it opens and shuts is just so fantastic. It's nice and quiet. Goes all the way back. But back to the steering wheel here. Actually, let's see this vanity mirror. There's the vanity mirror there. But automatic high beams there, blinkers, low beams, toggle your auto mode there, and then you can turn your high beams on or off or flash there. And then we do have automatic wipers, so one time off, auto, low, high. We can adjust that auto sensitivity here, and then we just pull up here for the front wiper fluid. And then mute button, voice recognition, cruise control. You can adjust the speed for that there, cancel. And then I'm gonna keep all this together. The forward collision alert gap adjust is there. We have that lane, departure, heated steering wheel toggle. We can go through the radio station presets or track list here. And then volume. And these 4 arrows are used to go through your gauge cluster. So what I liked is you could go to either side and adjust what you see on the left side, what you see in the middle, and then you could just choose a menu on this right side here, even go to your options And if you want to change your units from US to metric, you could do that. And then even what's on your info pages, you could do that there. So I just, like I said, there's a reason this is one of my favorite cars. I can't say enough about it. And then we also had the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel here. But heads up display again, right in there. See if I can show the options. So just 3 different menu options to choose from, but did the job, or 4, I guess. And then push button starts here. Here's the key fob with remote start. And next it's time to take this 2019 Cadillac CT6 Premium Luxury all-wheel drive out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in the CT6, just, again, a very luxurious car. Having the digital gauge cluster here, there's so much going on, but it's all clean. It's not bothersome, it's not in my way. I just always felt like this thing was so futuristic for when it came out. I just love everything about it. So the V6 in these was always, you know, it was good enough. Unless you just wanted a more performance-oriented powertrain, the 3.6 liter was perfect, but having the twin turbo was nice, and then having the 4 turbo was okay. But let's give this thing some gas here. And it sounds so good, but what's crazy is it's just so quiet in here because it is still a Cadillac. Like, the cabin acoustics in here are incredible. Now, I believe adaptive cruise was available, but this one in particular didn't have that package that came with the adaptive cruise. But overall, really not a necessity. This ride is phenomenal. It's just the best ride that you can experience, I think, in a vehicle like this. Of course, it's a longer wheelbase. Again, it is a Cadillac, but they just made these so well. And still, I think my favorite test drive to date, I should say a top 5 for me, was driving the CT6V Blackwing. Just having a ride that was that phenomenal, but just having a demon of a powertrain. That thing was so fast. Absolutely great. And honestly, just for the miles on this one alone, it's held up very nicely, just in terms of how the engine and transmission are working, the overall interior, the radio's working, everything seems to be in good condition. Now, I think this is actually a pretty good deal for a used vehicle, and obviously I'm biased there, but to get one of these used, I just think is the deal of the century. And even when they were just a year or two old, I thought that was a deal, because you could get an 80 grand car for, let's say, 55, 60, 65, just depending on miles and what time of the year it was. But these just always seem like, if you could afford them, or if you were in this class, getting one of these used was always just a deal. And even getting one of these now, I think, is just phenomenal, because there weren't that many made to begin with. I don't really see that many out on the roads. And again, I just think this is one of the most luxurious sedans that you can get, even to this day. And I hate the Cadillac killed it off, but I mean, it just makes them more sought after, I think. Like CT6Bs, the Blackwings are still going for money. Crazy money, I've seen it. And then you have just, again, the overall comfort you get in them. The feeling I get behind the wheel of them is just, it's like nothing that I can experience in any other vehicle. Because I know it was only out for, what, 5 or so years. And there's just something about them to me. I think I started selling cars at this dealership right around the time these came out, maybe a year or so. I've been doing it before these came out, and it just holds a special place in my heart, because when these came out, that's what I wanted. I was like, I'm gonna get one of these one day. And this is before I started driving EVs and all of that, so I didn't really think anything of it. But still, this is something that I love. I love being behind the wheel of this. I love seeing it. I just love this car. But y'all let me know in the comments if there are any big issues that came from these, because I don't remember particularly, other than the twin turbo V6 is getting bought back, I think. But these, I mean, this one has 42,000 miles. Don't see anything wrong with it. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2019 Cadillac CT6 Premium Luxury.